going to sign the order now, and this might be the one time in my entire life that I do this. Some people laugh that I use my routine pen to sign an order yesterday, and the governor has availed me of the great honor of signing an order maybe the way he does. And so with that, this order I'm signing, and to think about you and the sacrifices you are all making. Thank you on behalf of all of us for all you're doing and the sacrifices you're making. We are, thanks to all of your efforts, looking more all the time like this blue curve. But as you can see, that peak stretches out. At that time, it won't be one day, and then it just falls away. It will be day after day of a lot of hospitalizations. And so the time going out of it, as you can see, this curve takes a while, and it's spreading out. So that takes us well into the time of June. And we will be looking for signs that we can come out of this just as soon as possible. But we're not saying all of summer is lost to us. It certainly isn't. And I hope you're getting out there and enjoying this beautiful weather and the ways that are safe that we talk about.
If you could just tell us your name and a little bit about your background.
My name is Knut Wiitkowski. I was at the Rockefeller University for 20 years, head of the Department of Biostatistics, Epidemiology, and Research Design. And before that, I worked for 15 years with Klaus Dietz, one of the leading epidemiologists in the world, in the German town of Tübingen at the Eberhard Karls University.
You gave recommendations for how best to deal with COVID-19. Could you just describe what you wrote?
As with every respiratory disease, we should protect the elderly and fragile, because when they get pneumonia, they have a high risk of dying of the pneumonia. So that is one of the key issues that we should keep in mind. On the other hand, children do very well with these diseases. They're evolutionarily designed to be exposed to all sorts of viruses during their lifetime, and so they should keep going to school and infecting each other, and that contributes to herd immunity, which means after about 4 weeks at the most, the elderly people could start joining their family, because then the virus would have been extinguished.
This will not be a switch that you flip and life goes back to normal. It really will be a gradual returning, and in some ways, because we still don't have a vaccine or treatment, life will be different for quite some time to come, and maybe in some ways that are permanent, but also ways that are good.
If 80% of people have had contact with the virus and are therefore immune, and that typically that contact is just a form of immunization. So there is no disease, there's nothing happening, and still there is immunity. If 80% of people are immune, and somebody has a virus and is infectious, it will be very difficult for that infectious person to find somebody who is still susceptible, not immune. And therefore, this person will not infect anybody else, and therefore we won't have the disease spreading. That is herd immunity. If we had herd immunity, we wouldn't have a second wave. However, if we are preventing herd immunity from developing, it is almost guaranteed that we have a second wave as soon as either we stop the social distancing or that climate changes with winter coming or something like that. We already know that the social distancing cost the US taxpayer $2 trillion. In addition to everything else that it costs, but it also has severe consequences for our social life, and depression is definitely something that we will be searching. I can say from myself, walking through New York City right now is depressing.
So what do you think, should we tolerate this? Should we stand for staying in sheltered in house arrest till April 30th?
April 30th.
I mean, is that what we ought to do, or should we perhaps be resisting?
We should be resisting, and we should at least hold our politicians responsible. We should have a discussion with our politicians. One thing we definitely need to do, and that would be safe and effective, is opening schools. Let the children spread the virus among themselves, which is a necessity to get herd immunity. That was probably one of the most destructive actions the government has done. We should focus on the elderly and separating them from the population where the virus is circulating. We should not prevent the virus from circulating among school children, which is the fastest way to create herd immunity. I think people in the United States, and maybe other countries as well, are more docile than they should be. People should talk with their politicians, question them, ask them to explain. Because if people don't stand up to their rights will be forgotten. I'm Knut Wiitkowski. I was at the Rockefeller University. I have been an epidemiologist for 35 years and done modeling of epidemics for 35 years. It's a pleasure to have the ability to help people to understand, but it's a struggle to get heard.